Our plans for food security, ending hunger.
World Poverty Eradication Day. Federal government launches renewed hope conditional cash transfer. 15 million vulnerable households to receive 25,000 naira each.
It's a beautiful concept geared towards South-South cooperation.
Belt and Road Initiative Forum. Nigeria and China to scale up strategic partnership.
The Amazonians measures are put in place to ensure that we also address their own issues.
Nigerian army to increase presence in Taraba State to contain criminal activities of Cameroonian Abazinian rebels. Hello and welcome to the Network News. I am Olajide Bello, and joining me from Lagos is Adiola Komi Akere. Thank you for joining us. Now let's start with poverty eradication. The federal government has launched the Renewed Hope Conditional Cash Transfer Scale-Up Program, which will see 15 million vulnerable Nigerians get 25,000 naira each for 3 consecutive months. President Bola Tinubu, represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, flagged off the program to commemorate the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty. State House correspondent Musbah Danwahab reports.
On the day for commemoration of the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty, the world is calling attention to the grueling conditions of people trapped in extreme poverty. But here, in Nigeria, is a government already demonstrating understanding of the people's travails being compounded by the fuel subsidy removal. These ones representing the category of 15 million vulnerable Nigerians captured in the social register to be assisted through the challenging times with 25,000 naira each in the next 3 months.
It will go a long way because you cannot pick this type of money on the road. We are privileged to get this, and it must help us to alleviate poverty in the family.
This money, I would take it to boost my business. Well, I sell accessories, phone accessory, and repair of phone.
With this as an example, the government says its objective to lift millions of Nigerians out of poverty is not just a slogan, but a resolve backed with genuine commitments.
Our plans for food security, ending hunger, poverty eradication, economic growth, and job creation are all means by which we shall fight poverty and help the most vulnerable members of our society.
There would be an expansion of this register, which would carry the vulnerable pensioners, the vulnerable veterans, and the wives of fallen heroes, as well as other areas of concern where they were not fully captured. But however, we're starting, and what we're starting with are those who have been verified across all the states in Nigeria.
Apart from this, Nigerians have more to expect as the government says it is finalizing more solutions and interventions, including renewed hope programs for job creation, national homegrown school feeding, MSMEs, and the national alternate school program, among others.
Of course, it's very important this cash transfers work only if they are robustly delivered and reach the people in need.
So Nigerians can rest assured that this is an efficient and accountable way of providing relief to poor Nigerians.
We're going to collaborate with the agency and the ministry to make sure the people that are meant to benefit from this program are the actual beneficiary of it.
But while taking the lead, the government wants a sustained collaboration of Nigerians and the private sector to win the war against poverty in Nigeria. From the State House, Musbah Danwahab, NTA News.
Meanwhile, coming together to eradicate poverty and a wide range of issues surrounding poverty is the opportunity the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty is providing across the world. Ibrahim Bello reports that raising awareness about ongoing fight against poverty and the need for concrete steps to alleviate poverty is taking center stage. The report.
The United Nations International Day for the Eradication of Poverty is being observed on October 17th to promote awareness on the need to eradicate poverty and destitution worldwide. A recent report by the World Bank in its macro poverty outlook for Nigeria April 2023 projects that about 30 million Nigerians will fall below the international poverty line by 2025 if effort by government to reduce poverty fails. Abigail Edo is a mother of 5 who is into petty trading and is contributing her quota to the welfare of her family by taking care of 5 of her kids, trying to beat the poverty deadline to see that they are empowered economically.
If you market there, if you make 50 a day.
50,000?
Yes. Pay the capital of the, commot the capital of the money, the interest where you go there. So now go use the chop. I will save small to train my children for school.
If you buy and sell, you get game, you buy anything where you want to buy. For family, school fees, everything, if you buy.
An economist, Dr. Emeka Okengu says, despite challenges of inflation, food insecurity, reduction in oil export, security challenges among others, Nigeria and Nigerians can get it right in reducing poverty with commitment and attitudinal change by all.
Why would a country that has over 80 million square kilometers of arable land be talking about poverty and food insecurity? Because government cannot provide for everybody. Government is not limitless in his. He also has his challenges of funding. So it is all about Nigerians now knowing that government might never, or should never be able to take all of us out of poverty in one fell swoop. But we can help government to help us, because they say heavens help those who help themselves.
With the theme, Dignity for All in Practice, the United Nations International Day for the Eradication of Poverty 2023 aims to raise awareness and draw attention to what it means to live in dignity. In Abuja, Ibrahim Bello, NTA News.
To bilateral relations, Nigeria's strategic partnership with China needs to be scaled up as it remains key to Africa's development. Vice President Kashim Shettima, who is representing President Tinubu at the ongoing Belt and Road Initiative Forum in Beijing, China, said this when he was hosted by the People's Republic of China counterpart, Vice President Hang Zhen, at the State Guest House, Beijing. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Since assumption of office, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has made strategic moves to reposition the country's foreign policy direction and boost investors' confidence. Pleased with the warm reception accorded his delegation, Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima said Nigeria and China, having celebrated 50 years of diplomatic relations in 2021, must now take their destinies into their own hands, declaring that the rest of Africa stands to gain from a successful Nigeria. Mutually beneficial relationship will be further enhanced and upgraded to a comprehensive strategic partnership.
Nigeria is China's second largest trading partner in Africa. It is the largest economy in Africa and the most populous country in the African continent. The Belt and Road Initiative is a beautiful concept geared towards South-South cooperation and peaceful global development anchored on China's virtue of peace and development across the world.
Chinese Vice President Zheng assured of continued partnership with Nigeria as President Xi Jinping's meeting with Vice President Shettima will enhance mutual trust, advance practical cooperation, and a better developed bilateral relations between the two countries. Vice President Shettima was also a guest at the state banquet hosted by President Xi Jinping and his wife. The Vice President is expected to proceed to the National Convention Center to deliver his paper titled Digital Economy, as a new source of growth. A bilateral meeting with the Chinese President and Prime Minister of Pakistan is also on the Vice President's itinerary, just as other members of his delegation will accompany him to preside over meetings with management of top construction, technology, finance and communication giants in China. Abraman Jibrila, NTA News.
And back in Nigeria to the Red Chambers to further give muscle to federal government efforts in tackling corruption. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has transmitted to the Senate his nominees for the position of Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, and the Secretary, Muhammad Hamad Joda. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The request read as the commencement of plenary as communicated is in conformity with the provisions of the EFCC Act. Also transmitted to the Senate is the name of the new national coordinator of the National Social Investment Program Agency, Halima Shehu, for confirmation following the appointments of the former national coordinator, Delu Bulus, as Senior Special Assistant to the President on Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. A motion from Senator Babangida Hussaini on the scourge of drug abuse in Nigeria led to an extensive debate.
According to a report by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime and the European Union on Drug Use in Nigeria, about 14.3 million Nigerians between the ages of 15 and 64 are drug abusers.
The negative effect of drug abuse on our youth, even adults alike.
Senators unanimously urged the federal government to declare a state of emergency on the abuse of narcotics.
We are facing a national calamity. This is a national emergency, a national time bomb waiting to explode.
The committees on NDLEA, NAFDAC, should work with relevant agencies of the federal government to immediately convoke a national summit to discuss the state of narcotics abuse and the future of Nigeria.
Attempt by Senator Kawu Sumaila to raise a point of order seeking the reopening of Nigeria-Niger border was not successful.
I want to appeal to you to step down further discussion on this until we can obtain security situation report.
Responsibility of the chief whip, is it 54? The chief whip, as a way of, advising the Senate on the way we do things.
Order 54 says they shall locate time to all sequence of speeches, motions or bills coming before the Senate. So as we are coming under Order 54, this is what is written there. So I'm sorry, Leader, we rule you out of order.
This led to a walkout by Senator Mohammed Dume, after which the Senate went into an executive session for hours. Meanwhile, Senate Committee on Navy has held its inaugural meeting as it seeks improved security and harnessing of resources in Nigeria's maritime sector. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And from the Green Chambers, the House of Representatives has urged the federal government through the National Health Insurance Authority to provide health insurance cover for vulnerable Nigerians. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Pen reports on this and other deliberations of the House at Tuesday's plenary.
With an estimated 83 million vulnerable Nigerians, the Green Chamber regards Nigeria's quest for universal health coverage as a tall order. The House seeks urgent intervention to assist vulnerable Nigerians with out-of-pocket expenses for healthcare services.
Urge the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to allocate part of the fuel subsidy removal savings to the Vulnerable Health Fund. Also urge the National Health Insurance Authority to ensure implementation and monitoring.
The House adopted a motion to investigate alleged mismanagement of billions of COVID-19 intervention funds.
Mandate the Public Account Committee to investigate the expenditure of funds appropriated or disbursed as COVID-19 intervention to ministries, department, agency, or federal government from 2020 to 2022.
They went even to the extent of constructing roads that has nothing to do with provision of healthcare facility or services.
Lawmakers urged the security agencies to intensify efforts to secure the release of 30 female students of Federal University Gusau and 8 corps members being held captive by bandits in Zamfara State.
It's exactly 3 weeks and 2 days that these innocent girls are still in captivity with no good food, no good potable drinking water, and no shelter on their heads.
Some infrastructure motions were brought up by lawmakers.
Declaration of state of emergency on East-West Road and return the road construction to the Ministry of Niger Delta Development.
The need to reactivate the Sapele, Warri, Koko, and Burutu ports.
The House passed the bill for an act to establish a national center for the coordination and control of the proliferation of small arms and light weapons in Nigeria, as well as a bill for an act to repeal the Fire Service Act 2004 and enact the Federal Fire and Rescue Service Establishment Bill 2023. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
To women development, by supporting each other, pursuing education and sustaining conversations on issues that affect their growth, women stand better chance of creating a world of more opportunities for themselves, given the new consciousness among them. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu stated this while declaring open the 23rd National Women Conference of the Committee of Wives of Lagos State Officials. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
Her Excellency. It was a form of homecoming for Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, one that is marked with heartfelt applause for women in Lagos State, acknowledging her efforts in reviving the Committee of Wives of Lagos State Officials, Council, when she held sway as the wife of Lagos State Governor between 1999 and 2007. Today, she is the mother of the nation, and while acknowledging that the momentum is on the side of women and their aspiration for a more gender-inclusive society, she says there's much still to be done.
We must continue to break down barriers that limit our progress, challenge stereotypes, and foster an environment of equal opportunity for all. Healthcare, economic empowerment, and gender equity are essential pillars that will enable us to unleash our potentials.
Calling for a more positive mindset, the First Lady urged women to sustain the conversation, support and inspire one another, and prioritize education.
As society sees what women can do, as women see what other women can do, there will be more women out there doing things, and we will all be better off for it.
Speaking on behalf of the spouses, wife of the Senate President Ekaite Akpabio, and Oyo State Governor's wife, Tamuno Makinde, emphasized the need to empower more women for sustainable development. The national conference, which has served as an annual rallying point for women within and beyond Lagos State to introspect and engage on issues affecting them, has as theme Unleash Your Potential. In Lagos, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
Freedom of the Nigerian media and value reorientation among the citizens topped the agenda at an engagement between the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, and the staff of the National Orientation Agency and the Nigerian Press Council. Saliu Gwanora reports that the minister also promised to transform the ministry and its agencies to meet the aspirations of the citizens.
Headquarters of the National Orientation Agency was the first port of call by the minister and his team on the last day of the official familiarization visit to the 8 agencies under the watch of the ministry. Growing collective efforts to explore the agency's core mandate of championing national rebirth was brought to the fore.
Our dear country is in dire need of change in values, in lack of respect for constituted authorities, in ever increasing wave of cultism, banditry, fraud, cybercrime.
It is important for Nigeria to go back to the old ways, remember those symbols that help us to keep our country together and to remind us of the direction that this country should move towards. That there's going to be a national conversation around this value orientation or reorientation, as you will, in this country. And I think that is the starting point. Almost every aspect of our national life is being determined by our own character.
At the headquarters of the Nigerian Press Council, the minister restated the administration's desire for press freedom.
While the Nigerian press or the Nigerian media is desirous to be free, we also count that freedom in a way and manner that will also be responsible. But like I said, there will be no attempt, not under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will the press not be free.
Here, what we do is research of content analysis of every newspaper.
The minister assured that the outcome of the visit will add value to the ongoing transformation in building a new Ministry of Information and National Orientation. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
You're watching the Network News. More reports when we return. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for being there. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of a new management team for the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, pending Senate confirmation. In a statement, Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Ajiri Ngelale, says Musa Adamu Aliyu is appointed Chairman and Chief Executive Officer and Clifford Okwudiri Aparadu as Secretary. Musa Adamu Aliyu holds bachelor's, master's and doctorate degrees in law and the Attorney General of Jigawa State. Clifford Okwudiri Aparadu is a lawyer with over 30 years of experience. The President implores the new management team of the ICPC to always be above board as they discharge their duties without fear or favor. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Jalal Ahmed Arabi as the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, for a term of 4 years. The President has directed the outgoing Chairman, Zikrullah Kunle Hassan, to proceed on 3 months pre-retirement leave as provisioned by Public Service Rule, leading to his eventual retirement. Jalal Ahmed Arabi will assume office in acting capacity on October 18, 2023, and will continue to serve in substantive capacity for a fresh term of 4 years. President Bola Tinubu has also approved the dissolution of the board of the Commission. The President expects that the new NACON leadership will serve in reverence of Allah and utmost adherence to the precept of service according to the Holy Quran. In another development, President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Ahmed Galadimawa Aminu as the Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the Petroleum Technology Development Fund, PTDF, for a term of 4 years in the first instance. The new Executive Secretary was recently the General Manager, Education and Training Department of the fund. The President has directed the new Executive Secretary, CEO of PTDF, Ahmed Galadimawa Aminu, to serve in acting capacity until he commences his fresh terms of 4 years in office, beginning on December 26, 2023. President Bola Tinubu has congratulated Ooni of Ife and co-chairman of the National Council of Traditional Rulers of Nigeria, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, on the occasion of his 49th birthday. The President, in a statement, expressed gratitude to the royal father for his unflinching support to the administration and remarkable efforts in rallying traditional rulers from across the nation. He acknowledged the Ooni's leadership since ascending the throne of his ancestors by promoting unity and growth development of the Yoruba people. And to political party matters now, the governing All Progressives Congress is working on alternative dispute resolution mechanisms to resolve the internal wrangling racket and the legislative arm and office of the State Deputy Governor of Ondo State. This was made known during Aminu Bello Nasari-led Reconciliation Committee's visit on the National Chairman, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. Political correspondent Abubakar Kwanga reports.
The visit of the Reconciliation Committee to the National Secretariat of APC is premised on one agenda, and that is to fashion out peaceful means of ending the impeachment process against Ondo State Deputy Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa. The parties involved in the reconciliation process expressed satisfaction with the level of commitment displayed and promised to deploy internal instruments to resolve the lingering disagreement.
We are working hard in the House of Assembly and the national leadership of the party to find a lasting solution to the crisis bedeviling our party and the government in Ondo State. As an arm of government, that we are ready to cooperate with the party, and at the same time, whenever they want to meet us, we will be of help to the committee.
It is also our responsibility to see that all the ethics.
Away from political party matters now to security. The Nigerian military is to dominate and govern space in parts of Taraba State to combat the criminal activities of the Cameroonian Ambazonian rebels. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa Sitevis, while receiving the Taraba State Governor, Agbo Kefas, on a working visit seeking the military to improve security in the state. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
Governor Agbo Kefas of Taraba State in the Armed Forces Complex to seek greater partnership on the prevailing security threats in the state.
And the first step I took was to suspend all mining activities.
This is against the background of the nation's common territorial boundary with Cameroon through communities in Taraba State.
Cameroonian Amazonians have been threatening our people in that axis. Every day there are killings, so we want you to look into that area and see how we can increase presence of the troops there so that we'll be able to contain their excesses.
The armed forces of Nigeria is fully behind you.
The Chief of Defense Staff says the military is enhancing surveillance and operations around flashpoints to unmask and deal with criminal elements.
The Ambazonians measures are put in place to ensure that we also address their own issues so that they don't come and add into more of the problem we have within the area. Whatever challenges we're having are man-made, and so when man is ready to solve them, they will be solved. I've realized that the military solution in everywhere is just some percentage of it. Good governance solves a lot of problems.
The visit also aims at promoting civil-military relations and to foster a safe and secured environment. From the Defense Headquarters in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The Minister of Police Affairs, Ibrahim Gaidam, is seeking the support of the Canadian High Commissioner to Nigeria in the ongoing reforms of the Nigeria Police Force. Francis Pham reports that the meeting between the Minister and the High Commissioner of the Police Affairs Ministry signifies the mutual desire between both countries to enhance cooperation and exchange of knowledge with a view to addressing the security challenges that affect Nigerian society.
The visit of His Excellency Christophe presents a unique opportunity for us to explore avenues for collaboration in areas such as intelligence sharing, capacity building, and joint operations. By leveraging our respective strengths, we can effectively combat transnational crimes, terrorism, cyber threats, and other challenges that transcend borders.
You can continue to count on cooperation from our federal police detachment in Lagos, and to say that I am resident here in Abuja. I look forward to liaising with you in person in your office as we move forward from here.
Discussions at the meeting are expected to pave way for concrete actions and initiatives that will benefit both countries. Meanwhile, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps says it is adopting far-reaching security measures to curb the spread and influence of insurgency around schools and farmlands. The commitments came during Governor Muhammadu Unwa Yahaya's visit and the Commandant General of the Corps. The report.
Gombe State is central and strategic on the map of the Northeast, with an agrarian landmass employing more than 70% of its population. But security threat occasioned by Boko Haram activities is necessitating this collaboration to safeguard schools and protect farmers during harvest.
NSCDC is a senior stakeholder with regards to this issue of security, and I feel it's important that we alert you. I believe you know, but for you to know that the governors are thinking along that line, it means that you have partners that are allowing you and achieve. And I pray that you will join with us as partners in progress to provide the needed security for our people, both in my state and in other states.
We would like to send experts from here that are very good in intelligence to have some training, so that we can collaborate with them and then send them to schools so that we can use them to provide security for schools.
The Commandant General Ahmed Abubakar Audi promised to intensify security around and within the state in agro ranges and review of operational strategies to combat crime.
Time now to join Adiola in Lagos for stories making the rounds from that zone. Adiola.
Thank you, Olajide. As part of efforts to reposition the integrated marketing communications industry for growth, the National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Lagos Business School to facilitate capacity building and research that will positively impact the industry. President of the National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria, Idorian Enang, unveiled the partnership at a news conference in Lagos.
Partnership, according to the president of the National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria, is aimed at forming a synergy between the two bodies to foster inclusivity, promote professionalism, as well as drive growth in the ecosystem.
Innovation is the currency of the now, and that's what we are harping on. And I am privileged as president to be able to set that vision. I look forward to an NIMN in 5 years' time, where you are going to see the product of all that we're doing now. By 2028, when we are having our 25th anniversary, it will be something to be able to say we started here and this is where we are in terms of the people, in terms of the practice.
Management of the Lagos Business School agreed that apart from research that will positively impact the industry, the MOU will also drive ethical ways of doing business in the country.
This is an opportunity for LBS to partner with an institution that has a national relevance. We believe that as part of our mission as an institution, we need to take care not only of the private sector, but increasingly the public sector. And I think that this is one soft way to begin to enter into supporting those in the public sector so that in the end, the country benefits as a whole.
When you start taking decisions from an ethical point of view, you make the right decisions. And these are ethics drives sustainability in business, in life, in family life, in everything you do. So in this partnership, we'll project, in addition to thought leadership, we'll project ethical leadership.
Both bodies reiterate the commitment to reach out to their members in diaspora in the area of knowledge sharing, which will to a large extent be beneficial to all. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
For credibility of journalism not to be eroded, there is need to check quackery in order to ensure professionalism. Joe Popola reports that this was the consensus of veterans while speaking on unchecked infiltration into the profession.
One profession that cannot afford quackery and unethical conduct in whatever form and measure is journalism. This is because the profession is the mouthpiece through which society is informed. The era of citizen journalism, otherwise referred to as all-commerce affair, has opened a window of opportunity for everyone to assume the role of a journalist. This informed the consensus of experts in the profession to call for it to be mandatory for practitioners to pass through professional examination, as the minimum qualification for a journalist is not well defined.
Even the Nigerian Press Council Act has even stipulated the criteria for a passing journalist. The number of years you must spend before you can become a journalist, you can become a registered journalist, and you have to go to, and even if you have degree in humanities or different disciplines.
Must be basic training, very important. But that training either has to be institutional, through schools and all that, or on the job. you can't rule out on-the-job training. Even those who have gone to institutions must still be trained on the job.
And for the avoidance of doubt, veteran journalists are of the opinion that there should be a proper definition of who a journalist is.
It does not mean because you have a telephone, you can take pictures that makes you a journalist. But you must learn the trade, so to say. You don't have the knowledge of journalism, you just find yourself there. There is no way you will not fumble.
The consensus of stakeholders is for conversations like this that seeks to deepen credibility of the profession to continue, while there should be measures to serve as a deterrent. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
That's a contribution from Lagos. Network News continues after this time out. Please stay.
Many thanks for being there. Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf says Nigeria's GDP needs sufficient contributions from all sections of the country to grow. He said this in a message through his Chief of Staff, Shehu Wada, at a function organized to broaden the knowledge of lawyers on the aspect of business and intellectual property law held in Kano.
Kano, as commercial nerve center of the north, and as well a home to Kannywood, has a lot of business and intellectual engagements that need full legal support for the operators to reap the fruit of their labor. However, neither the operators nor the legal officers are conversant with legal considerations which affect smooth running of their operations. This is why lawyers are gathered here to broaden their skills on this untapped field in law.
An opportunity for those in attendance here to actually sit and win and actually learn, and it's going to give them an edge over those that are not here.
That when you come to Quarry Market and you see another person trying to copy your trademark, infringing on your rights, you know that yes, you are registered with the trademark, you have the copyright, and as such you can enforce your intellectual property.
Both Kano State Governor and key stakeholders believe that as business and film production hub, lawyers, especially the young ones, should not afford to be missed out in this money-fetching investment in their knowledge.
In the best interest of the young lawyers to take interest in the business aspect of the law, at least so that it will help, advance the economy.
You need to go out there and learn and grow and handle your business clients in a professional manner in the best way possible.
Improved business environment supported by law. Lawyers are optimistic will promote ease of doing business and the nation's economy flourishes more. In Kano, Aminu Umar, NTA News.
Now, over now to Benny Adams for the business news. Benny.
Thank you, Olajide, and welcome to Business. As some Nigerians continue to seek cheaper air tickets by connecting to the world through neighboring countries, experts speak on possible ways of reduction in airfare.
Love to travel, Nigerians love to fly, and then if there are so many demands for tickets, the airlines will naturally close the buckets that are lower and open the upper buckets. So that is the reason why the tickets in Nigeria are more expensive. And of course, coupled with the fact that the airlines could not repatriate their money from Nigeria, and of course the floating of the Naira policy that put Naira about 1,000 Naira to $1. That also contributes to expensive tickets out of Nigeria. But most importantly is demand and supply. There is a lot of demands for tickets in Nigeria, and the airlines decide to be closing the buckets. But I believe if there is a lot of supply for the seats, the supply and the demand will meet, and then the ticket prices will come down.
And taking a look at the markets, Nigerian equities record first gain of the week with a 0.43% increase in volume of stocks traded. At the end of today's trading, a total of 377.9 million shares in 6,729 deals, corresponding to a market value of 5.169 billion naira, were traded. Today's data shows 75% improvement in volume, 46% improvement in turnover, and 13% improvement in deals. The current market capitalization is 37 trillion naira. X-Transacts International recorded highest the volume of 44.1 million traded shares, followed by United Bank for Africa 42.3 million and Access Holdings 33.3 million. Well, that is business news, but network news continues after this break. Stay tuned.
Glad to know you're still there. Now let's join Gift George for stories trending in the world of sports.
Super Eagles head coach Joseph Peseiro says the victory against the Mambas of Mozambique is a morale booster ahead of the team's 2026 World Cup qualifiers, which begins in November. The Nigerian national football side Monday evening defeated the Mambas of Mozambique by 3-2 in an international friendly match.
You must put more concentration for finishing. You cannot allow this team with 10. Our team is better than this team. In the second half, you manage the ball, you do well.
So we have a task ahead of us. Let us see. Believe in the team. I think we have a very strong team.
Still on football, onto the local scene. Ahead of the 2023-24 Nigerian National League, a 5-day coaching course is ongoing at the Remo Star Stadium, put together by the board of the NNL in collaboration with the Nigerian Institute for Sports. The program, tagged Upgrading NNL Coaches in Modern Football Coaching Techniques, has about 40 coaches participating, with some ex-internationals as resource persons alongside the UEFA licensed coach. The idea is to make the second-tier league more attractive and competitive by ensuring that the coaches are up to date on the scientific and modern approach to the game.
If you don't get very knowledgeable coaches, there's no way you will get a tactical team. There's no way your players will play with brain. And the only way the coaches can impact on the players is for them to be top-notch.
Apart from this, we are also going to now to also do the capacity building for all coaches in Lagos State.
Still talking football, the 2023 Lagos Street Soccer has kicked off in Surulere, Lagos, with ceremonial matches in the under-15 men and women categories. The tournament, which focuses on positively engaging the youth in the community and giving them a platform to showcase their talents, returned to Lagos after 9 years with season 8.
I have intention to build this street soccer thing into a full-fledged futsal league.
Over 3,000 teams with about 30,000 players are taking part in the competition, which will end in December 2023. With sports updates, Gift George, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has condoled with the former president of the Senate, Senator Ahmed Ibrahim Lawal, over the death of his mother, Senator Hajia Halima Baba Ibrahim, who was 86, died over the weekend and was buried on Sunday in Geshwa, Yobe State, in accordance with Islamic rites. President Tinubu described the late matriarch as a strong pillar not only for Lawan and his siblings, but also for others beyond her immediate family. The president asked the former Senate president to find strength in the knowledge that Mama lived a ripe old age and to continue to cherish the good name she left behind. And the death has been announced of former sport minister and the late President Shehu Shagari Alhaji Buba Ahmed. He died this evening in Kano after a brief illness. He is to be buried tomorrow, Wednesday, 18th October 2023, in accordance with Islamic rites. And that concludes the network news. Many thanks for watching. I am Olajide Bello.